for the nerds. This is for the brainiacs. This what we deserve. Go ahead and play it back. You ain't gonna touch me. You not gonna do nothing. You are not above me. I bet you wish you was me. I know it. I know.
What is poppin', everybody? And welcome back to another special episode of the Only Friends podcast. Well, you know, I'm here with my only friends and Tortu.
How was that? Was that good for you?
What I like about the intro now.
Stop acknowledging it.
No,
It'll go away. It'll go away. I can feel it. The room is damp.
Never going away. I got DMs on Twitter. I got DMs on Instagram. It's never going.
Honestly, like I can feel
that one was very good. That was crisp.
That's because we all
clean.
sat here silently. Stop, Landon. We have to stop acknowledging it.
It's
if we stop acknowledging it,
listen, I got the DMs, bro.
look, you and I stop acknowledging it,
But
and
you
it's
guys-
going to be a hard stop because
I'm just gonna acknowledge it so much harder now.
And you also realize, like, their like non-acknowledgement means nothing to it.
where I was going was what I was gonna say.
What you should have said
was,
I really liked looking at Brian's smile that you guys can't see on the camera because it's still on Conrad, and Brian knows it's gonna cue over here.
No, he smiled.
He's just waiting like Birdman outside the window like this,
You know,
waiting.
he
it's the
smiled
little
at-
things, Landon. It's the little
He
things.
smiled
big
at when I
things,
said
yeah.
special. That was what
I
it
did
was.
smile.
That's a constant, you know. Do you think it's worse that he actually knows how to say it and then chooses not to?
Do you guys think that it's good for the algorithm that this is what we talk about in the first 3 minutes of every single fucking episode?
No, that's why you should just let it go and keep on moving.
I don't know, man.
It sounds like on you.
We're gaining subscribers. We're almost up to 50,000.
Almost at
49.9. Guapo, can you throw that up on the? Where are we at? How close are we? You have the actual count.
Brian, you love this bit.
I just
Uno
want.
momento.
I just I think it'd be really nice if we hit it on
Wow.
air.
For
So
100.
everyone just go out there, make sure you subscribe. If you're not subscribed,
Wait a minute. Do we have our bronze play button?
what is that?
You get that for 10K subs, I think.
Oh,
Hey, Connie,
I
can
don't
you turn
think
your
that's
laptop
a
I think
thing.
yeah, because you get a silver one for 100K.
yeah.
I don't think it starts with silver.
Yes, it does.
I thought it did. Yeah, I thought it started.
Okay, then when we get to 50K, we're halfway to our silver play
know.
button.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
only took 6 years, guys. We're rolling it. Here we are, man, just building fucking YouTube,
Yep.
breaking the internet.
Came to Rome.
I honestly like. I might have to fire Conrad from the intro.
I'll see you guys later.
I get so discombobulated now. I don't even know what run of show is anymore. Like
You just lose all composure.
yeah.
You
You
lose
know,
full.
the thing is we let the inmate run the asylum. It's gone too far. It started with the mispronouncing of special, and like that was a fun bit, and then it was my.
This is what
only
you call a miserable
friend.
shit reg, guys.
He just,
My God.
The problem is
the
like
Miz reg is
well, the problem is if
level
like we just
crazy.
let you keep stacking on top of the intro, eventually the intro is just going to be the show.
Right.
and that'd
And
be a
then
good
we hit
show.
100,000 subs.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be a good show.
I don't think so.
Nobody asked you.
I'm just gonna say it.
He seems a little hesitant.
Yeah.
I don't think we should let Bro cook anymore. I don't think we should let Bro cook.
What's the run of show, Bert?
Who knows, man? Who knows? Big weekend in sports that no one cares about. I'm sure we'll actually talk about the NCAA tomorrow as Brent's picks were spot fucking on.
Purdue, baby!
Gonna win the whole thing. Thank God for the wheel. The wheel saved us.
The fucking
We actually
wheel.
still have a little bit of a shot here. Actually, I think we're doing pretty poorly. I entered our bracket in Andy's league, and I don't think it's doing good, cuz.
No,
Mine
it's
is
not
not
great.
either.
It's not great when 2 of your final 4 are gone. One of your final
Duke is what
championship
fucked
game
us.
is gone. Duke definitely laid
We
an
had the
egg.
wrong Cinderella story. That's clear.
It should have been FAU,
Yeah, should have been FAU. You're right.
but it should have been one.
Or Princeton. Jesus.
Yeah, Princeton and their bucketology.
The smart kids make
Gotta
free
re-
throws.
You got to respect, man, the backdoor Princeton. You know, they've been running that place since the 80s. That's how they roll. What people probably aren't paying attention to that I actually am is the World Baseball Classic, which is today. Wait, is today the 20th or 21st?
Today's the 20th.
20th. Okay, so the other semifinal game we'll play today. The finals will be tomorrow. USA has made it again, back to back. They are the third team, I believe, to do this, beating Cuba yesterday in Miami. And if you need to know how locked in this USA team is, all you need to do is see their hitting coach out there taking strokes.
Mm-hmm.
One Ken Griffey Jr.
My
putting
man.
on a show
My man.
for the squad, getting them all hyped up.
Still got it.
Man. He can swing it. But what happened to him, bro? I mean, I get it. He's like, 50 now. But like, even his like final few years in the league, he's a big boy.
Mm-hmm.
What happened? He came up like $190.
They all just, start
No.
putting on weight. towards the end.
No, he looks like Tony Gwynn now.
No.
That's I think
That's
you're pushing
a
it a little
little-
bit.
Am I?
A little
Yeah.
bit.
Am I?
Dude, Tony Gwynn was round, bro.
Griffey looks round as fuck.
Oh, man.
He was big whenever he retired.
That's the new physique update, round AF.
Yeah. Yeah. It's got a little bit of a spare tire there. Good.
It's kind of wild to me, the rules to the WBC. So
Go.
pitchers can only pitch 80 pitches.
I mean, honestly, well, it's first of all, it's because it's spring training, so a lot of the players are still they're doing this in lieu of spring training. But secondly, that's not that far off from the MLB.
What do you mean? I mean, like,
You name me a guy who's thrown a fucking complete game in the last. I mean, obviously
most
it happens,
pitchers
but it's
usually
like
throw
pretty
like 90 to
100,
100, right?
yeah.
rare.
I'm pretty
max,
At max,
max
yeah.
100.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure like that's like the average, and like that's another inning.
It can't be max and the average.
Well, I mean, like 90 is like the average. 90, I would say, is like the average of what pitchers throw in a game.
Man,
Like a starting pitcher. And I'm not sure what like the.
I would take the under, but not
90's
not by
about
a
right.
lot
90's about
I'm
right.
not sure what like relief pitch, if they have any like rules on relief pitching, but it feels like it's
in the WBC.
yeah, it feels like this is kind of
Probably not.
stacked for USA to win.
Why?
It's like depth. We have a lot of
Yeah.
depth, and like teams like Puerto Rico would have won the other night against Mexico if they just had more like their pitching.
Sure. I mean, it's it's a tournament that's built for the United States anyway. Like same way that the Olympics are for basketball. This is our sport. There's only really one other country that's as deeply competitive as us. There are a ton of like. Don't get me wrong. We pull the best talent from across the world, like Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, Cuba. These places are baseball
Venezuela,
hotbeds.
yeah.
But they're small countries and they don't have they don't have like hundreds of talented players where we do. So like to your point, whenever you're looking at the number 4 starter for the United States, he's just going to be significantly better than the number 4 of any other team. More importantly, it's very similar to basketball, like where if the only way that I think other teams become hyper competitive, is if we like for a while college players were playing the Olympics for basketball.
Yeah.
And I think like if they did that in baseball, we would not be a powerhouse anymore. Japan also is a powerhouse for what
That's
it's
what I
worth.
was going to
Japan's
ask. 'Cause,
beyond.
Yeah,
Japan
that's
is
the
still-
other-
'cause Japan has always been really good.
That's the other country that is an absolute powerhouse. And I think for a time, correct me if I'm wrong, maybe you know or don't, but for a time, we didn't send pros to the WBC. Like it was a part of
I
the
think
player agreement or whatever.
didn't A-Rod and whatchamacallit play in like 98
I don't know if it goes that far
Well, it
back,
was
but
definitely
yeah.
like that in the Olympics.
or 2008?
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
then,
2008.
and then I think you might be right, where they didn't say because the pros they didn't want to like get hurt or whatever.
But now they're back
more.
to sending the pros.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, and I'm not positive of that, but I'm fairly certain there were years where we were like not competitive at all.
Yeah,
because
I-
we were just sending rank amateurs.
I know 2008, I believe it was. Jeter, A-Rod, and Nomar played. So that's for sure the pros were there.
Mhm.
But so apparently for relief pitching, it depends on how many pitches you throw. You can't pitch back-to-back days, and over 45, you need 2 days of rest.
Mm,
Oh, wow.
okay.
That's what somebody in the chat said, which is interesting. Definitely built for United States to trample.
Oh man, I forgot that this is every 3 years too. For some reason, I was thinking it was every 2. But so the last 2 teams that went back to back were Japan in 2006 and 2009. So I think 2006 was the inaugural year.
Mm-hmm.
So they went back to back in 2006 and 09. Puerto Rico in 2013, 2017, and now the United States in 2023, 2020 are vying for that back to back honor.
Did they have it in 2020 with the pandemic?
Maybe not. Maybe
It sounds
yeah.
like
Maybe it was 20. Well, wait. Let me think. So
I think
6, 9, 13, 17. Yeah, should have been 20, right?
6, 9, 13.
Yep.
6, 9, 12.
Well, they had it in 2013. Something
They skipped-
happened.
yeah.
Something happened.
Yeah, maybe it's not exactly every 3 years. I don't know the exact reasoning for that.
Could have something to do with the Olympics, maybe.
Yeah, possibly.
But it's not an Olympic sport anymore, right?
No.
That's such a shame.
I know.
WBC's better though. Well, actually, it's not. This got like no coverage. I didn't even know about it until the semifinals.
I didn't even know this thing existed until now.
I totally forgot all about
if you're like me and you watch the MLB network a lot,
Sure.
they were covering it, but yeah, like ESPN and the major networks were not like covering it.
Well, I was watching March Madness, and
Well, also that's going on, so that's going to
right.
overshadow
So I was
everything.
watching March Madness, and I played 60 hours in the last 4 days.
Good for you.
Good for me. I'm pooped.
Hey,
Holy shit.
you want to make money, you got to work hard.
My God, these grinders do it, man.
I was dying laughing when I looked outside at like, I want to say it was like 11:15, 11:30 last night, and your car wasn't there.
No,
I was like, damn, we got to get there at 10 o'clock.
bro. Oh, you're talking about in the morning?
No, at night.
Oh yeah. Listen, yesterday, so I played for 4 days straight. We were playing 100, 200 for 4 days. First 2 days went amazing. I won like 100,000 playing the tougher line. So there's two shifts. Well, first of all, there's 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
There's the main game and the must move game, and those games are good. And then there's a second shift that comes. It's the evening shift, and it's these 6 grinder 10-20 regs that young kids that move up, like Dylan DeStefano and that collective, as well as Knock the OG. And a few others that like I've been playing with for decades, right? So they come into the evening shift. So the first 2 days, I got a seat in the second game at like mid-afternoon, like 3 p.m. So it was like half of the evening shift was there, and the half remaining that haven't moved to the main game yet were still there. We did okay. By the time we got to the main game, it was just me and the evening crew. And the evening crew, they play modern style of poker, let's say. Did really good against them. Really good. Won like 100K playing against that lineup for 2 days in a row. Then the next 2 days, I get starting seats in the second game. So none of the evening crew, and let's just say they're not playing modern theory. They're
They're in the streets.
playing a little bingo, doing
Yep.
a little street stuff. They're forgetting to bluff almost always.
Is he really forgetting at that point?
Check, I have 6 high.
And, it was mixed results. The first day, I was smashing. I was up like 90,000 by the time I got moved to the main game. I'm a bomb pot god, in case anybody's wondering.
This guy. Bomb puck.
I mean,
You
obviously,
do a bomb putt every half?
every half.
Yep.
And obviously, it was like a lot of
Double
variant.
board?
No, single.
I mean, now you got to tell the whole story.
How does that work, by the way? The bomb pot.
Single board?
Sure.
So you do a single board bomb pot. Everybody antes, and then you see a flop. So you go 9 ways to the flop. So we do 3 big blind ante. And obviously some of it was variance, but some of it is definitely just like I have a better understanding how to play bomb pots. I won, I shit you not, I won 80% of the bomb pots.
Oh my God.
Like an impossible task.
Until?
Not until. Until. So the last 2 bomb pots I play, I have the button on them, right? So what I think is gonna be my last bomb pot, I fuck Oaken so good. I mean, just this is the stuff that he'll tell his grandkids about. So it checks to me on the button, and I have Ace of Hearts, 7 of Clubs on 8, 5, 4, 8, 5 of Hearts. So I just have 3 to a straight, 3 to a flush. But a very key 3 to, I mean, like this is as good as it gets, 8, 5, 4, 2 hearts. I have Ace 7, Ace of Hearts. Checks to me. I bet 1 big blind. Sorry, I was the cutoff. I bet 1 big blind. Ralph calls on the button. Oaken makes it 2K, which is like less than half pot. Very small raise. And where are we going? We're getting like 4.5 to 1. We call. We got backdoors, baby. Call. Ralph folds. Turn is an offsuit. What did I say the flop was?
8, 5,
8-4-3.
8-4-3.
8-4-3. My apologies.
Turn is a 5.
Yeah. 8-4-3, 8-4 of hearts. Turn is an offsuit 5. Oaken bets like 75% pot. Now we're double gutted.
Yes.
You know, and we're still going to bluff hearts always. And we're super deep. We're like 80,000 effective, maybe deeper. Might even be like 100 effective. So he bets 3/4 pot, which at this point is like 5K. I call. River, deuce. Full pot. Comes out swinging. I'm like, wow. Well, fuck me. I hope he doesn't have 5-6.
Yeah.
5-6 seems to make a lot of sense. All right, whatever, man. You win the money. You deserve it. I call. And he triumphantly rolls over top set of 8s.
That's no good.
Oh, those are never good. And he's just losing his mind because obviously when you look at the hands at Showdown, it's like, how the fuck do you have that hand in this spot? But like, you know, the thing with bomb pots are the pot is so large already because of the antes that if you have any equity on the flop at all, you just have to try to realize it.
You realized it.
I did. So now at that point, I'm up like 70,000. And my mission is like, all right, we got to get out of here. Like, I need to be back here at 10 a.m. It's 10:30 right now. I'm getting sleepy. But, you know, game's good. The game's lit. We're going to stay for another half and then quit. So I stay for another half, still up like 70K. Wouldn't you know it, I'm on the button for the bomb pot. I'm like, one more half. That's when it all unravels, Brian.
How many times do you say to yourself one more half and that half goes well as opposed to goes bad?
Don't know.
You would think it would even out, but
it probably does. Who knows?
Yeah.
You only
I
remember.
guess you really remember it right.
Yeah, you only remember the times
bad
it goes
ones.
poorly. And honestly, like, I don't even think of it that way. Like, it's all
one
as trite as it may sound.
All
It
one
really is
session.
all one session. Like, you're just gonna suffer variance, one way or the other.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of positive variance to be up to 75K or whatever.
It's
gonna correct.
You trick your mind into thinking you can control. Like, I could have controlled it. I didn't have to have that negative variance if I would have just left when I like kind of wanted to.
Yeah.
So you trick your mind into thinking that you actually can control the variance when you can.
Oh, that wasn't what I thought. I told Conrad that I got scammed. I said that there's a greater
Fucking
deity.
scammed.
There's a deity overlooking this that's testing my will and discipline.
This is the guy who doesn't believe in astrology.
I'm going to say something.
Go ahead.
You're not that special. It's not about you. You know, you're not the main character of this arc.
No. Trust me.
In his own arc, though.
He's not that special.
Like, this is his own story that he's writing by himself. Nobody has to be a part of this.
Well,
this is just him.
Yeah, except for the gods that be.
The gods that be, they have
Wait,
their
you think
plans.
the gods have to give special attention to one person to fuck them over?
Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
No, they have the capability of giving attention to everybody all at once. That's why they're gods.
Or they're his gods.
Oh, yeah, right. We could all have our individuals too. Any event, they wanted to teach me a life lesson. So like, here's the button. Do you have the willpower to leave? And I said, absolutely fucking not. I have the bomb
they
pot,
actually just
and I'm
gave-
a bomb pot god.
They actually just gave you free money. By
He
saying
is a
you want
god.
the money.
He's a bomb pot god.
Right.
He's among the
Wait,
gods.
so it gets better. So then they deal me a gut shot, 2 overs and a gut shot, which is a mandatory bet. But Dylan had literally just called out my strategy the last bomb pot when I won with the ace high. So it folds to me, checks to me again on the button. I have queen jack on 9-8-4 or something like that, rainbow. Mandatory bet. Absolute mandatory bet. I decide to knuckle it back. No good reason. Turns a king. Checks to me again. And I'm like, okay, well, now we go. I bet. Get called in 2 spots, but it brought a backdoor flush draw. River, another king. Checks to me again. And it's
Seems
like
a bet here.
wow, this is mandatory. Like a 9 will for sure fold because like they just tend to overfold a 9. A king would have bet itself on the turn. I have all the kings. That's clear. And flush draws missed. So like, here we go. 3/4 pot. Call, tank, fold, king.
Wow.
He has a king. He's king, queen. It's like, God damn it. Both of them would have folded flop. They both had like king, deuce, king, queen. It's like, okay, well, there goes, 15,000. I deserve that. Let's get it back this orbit. Kings and aces. Went home. I went home down like 1K. And then yesterday was the exact opposite. I was stuck 120,000 in the blink of an eye. Just couldn't have gotten stuck faster.
It's not good when we don't see you answer the text in the group chat.
Yeah, there was a poll in the group chat like, what does this mean? When Berkey's radio silent, I'm like, it's never good.
I said Berkey hasn't responded since 7:45. Is he
and then
stuck?
guess what? When he got unstuck, he responded.
Is he getting his face smashed or is he smashing faces?
Yeah, it was stuck 120. That was the very first
Found my
message
phone
back.
again.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
If he didn't get unstuck with it, still wouldn't have heard from him.
Yeah, it's true.
The evening squad came in and played shorthanded with me for a little while. I got unburied.
Yep, there you go.
I moved to the main game. So I moved to the main game and I was like even. I'm up 60K in like an orbit and a half. I'm like, wow, what a fucking, I mean, we're
Nice
like
little
100, 200 and going on a 200K swing here.
Yeah.
This is wild.
Wow.
But then I, again, did not fold kings in a 4-bet pot where my opponent, who was a little tipsy, had the old 5-6. Didn't see it coming.
Suited though.
It was suited.
There you go.
He flopped the world. Flopped the gut shot flush.
Just fold the good hands and you'll be rich.
Yeah, it's true.
Like the quote unquote
That is
good
true.
hands.
Seriously.
Like if you just fold the aces and kings after like somebody raises into you, you'll just be rich.
Yeah. Like if you're not.
I tell myself this all the time.
Here's the easiest rule of thumb. If you ain't betting it, you ain't supposed to be in there, man. You got aces and kings and you're not good enough, like they're not good enough to bet, get out.
You're just
Just fold. You're against the better hand. They're not good enough to bet because you scared. I got super scammed too on another pot where same tipsy man 3-bets me with 8-6 of hearts and I have jacks and it comes jack 8-8.
Oh,
Seems good.
that seems pretty good.
Yeah. I check call, big bet on the flop, which when I saw the big bet, I'm like, let's go, baby. Let's go. Check call, big bet on the flop. Turns a king of diamonds, bringing backdoor diamonds. I check. He big bets again. I raise like 3.5x. He calls. So now there's like 60,000 in the pot, and we're like 200,000 effective. And so like I'm fucking, I'm a little scared that his king's full, but like we're going. River's a queen of diamonds. I'm like, well, fuck me. Like it's not that I never win. Of course I still win, but like ace, king, and aces isn't happy to like call a pot-sized bet here anymore. Right. And I just lose now to kings, queens, and the straight flush. I think it was like ace 10 of diamonds and 9-10 of diamonds both got there. It's like, well,
royal.
Oh no. Sorry. Yeah. Ace,
the royal and
yeah.
the king high straight flush.
Yeah, so I lose 2 straight flushes too. So I was like, fuck me. Well, I need to get value. I bet like quarter pot. And he just calls with 8-6 of hearts. And he didn't even want to.
Yeah, nice little.
He like wanted to fold.
A little cleaner run out and you just get it all.
What could have been. But that was, my week. Landon had a big week.
Yes, you did,
And-
Landon.
I had a big week.
And
I cooked.
He cooked. Yep, he's going to be cooking a lot this week.
cooked.
you looked like you were cooking meth on your fucking stream.
What was that? What the hell was that?
I was in the darkness, dude. What do you mean? I don't see a problem. I know good content when I see it.
Were you? How loud were you screaming?
I heard him
and
when
how
I was-
close was the mic to your face?
I heard him when I was pulling up in my car down like about 50 yards away.
I honestly did not
Outside.
realize like the mic situation.
You didn't realize mics were sensitive when you shrieked like a banshee?
I was using my headphone mic because I didn't have the blue mic that I normally have, or like the that mic that we have here that I
Right.
normally have in my house
Wait,
in my desk.
the what one?
The one that I use to record my course.
Yeah, it's
And
there.
why was it so
not
dark?
there.
Didn't I get you a ring
He
light for
brought it.
Christmas?
There's a ring light somewhere. I just
It's here.
Ah, Jesus.
oh yeah, we needed it here for lighting.
We
so
we took it to the Bahamas with us.
The mic also came to Bahamas, I believe.
Nah,
Yeah.
it's at home.
No.
And there's another mic of mine that's at home as well.
there's
I have that
somewhere
one.
there's. Anyways, I didn't realize that the mic situation was what it was until I was reading some of the comments in the chat saying, "Bro is really giving out free tinnitus."
I don't know what that means.
Tinnitus is when you have that
you make
constant
your ears
ringing.
ring
Oh,
because of loud
okay.
noises.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a headphone warning, but I mean, I was having so much fun. I can't not have memes.
Well, you should be having fun. You turned $100 into 39,000. That's
Yeah.
impressive.
I
That is
cooked.
impressive.
You beat thousands and thousands of people.
3,320 or something.
So you beat 3,000.
I didn't really beat them. They kind of
318.
beat themselves, and then
Yeah.
I scammed them along the way.
That's fine.
You scammed a lot of people.
I mean, the
yesterday.
thing is, when you're, when you shove that, when you 5-bet shove that ace 5 and you win, you're just gonna win the tournament. That's all.
Did that happen?
I don't even know if
Yeah.
that was in the same
He
tournament.
ran right in the jacks and just came ace high.
Is that facts?
I mean, it happened on Sunday, but I don't know if it was the same
It
tournament.
was
might
like the
have been a
beginning of the
different
day.
one. Might have been a
Okay.
different
It
It was
definitely
the beginning of the day,
day.
but like it might have been the same tournament.
I
you
hope
know?
it was.
It was like it looked like he just registered. They both had like a pile of big blinds, and he just 5-bet jammed it.
It
in
was
his
90
face.
bigs, small blind versus button. What do you want from me?
90.
Just jams it.
blind
He
versus
does 5 bets,
button.
rips it in his fucking face.
Yeah.
Victoria was like, he has a good hand here, right?
Yeah. He's like, I don't understand. When you know you're behind and you know you're getting called, why do you just rip it in? I'm just like, yeah, that
Like
makes sense.
he's never folding a good hand, right? And he always has them.
Wow, they're never folding a good hand. The point's not to get him to fold a good hand.
But he has only good hands.
He has only friends.
He's from the Brazil. You know,
Yeah, that was.
Can we get that clip of Landon stimming on stream? Do we have it?
on Twitter.
No, it should be in
in
the
the group chat.
Discord chat.
Yeah, it's in there.
oh my god.
I
Alright,
played
It's a
it.
headphone warning.
Everyone
Headphone
just,
warning. Headphone warning.
yeah, headphone
Bravo.
warning.
I played it at the table without telling anybody what it was, and they thought the small animal was being tortured.
Right, it's not English. There are no words spoken. It's just noises.
I thought you were going to join a group of
Very
champions last
weird,
night.
Oh my God.
loud
Some of the
noises.
best in the world that have won the warm up before,
Oh, you've won it?
but you got second. Maybe next week though.
Sick brag, bro.
I'm pretty sure, well, I will say, I'm pretty sure my second was greater than your first.
No, it
Wow.
wasn't.
Why?
5,000 more.
You won first or 44?
Well, it was 43, I think.
Why was yours so small?
I don't. It was New Year's Eve or New Year's Day.
Yeah.
You get in there.
I got
you cherry
scared.
pick. You
Yeah.
go for the value hunting.
Yeah.
Right?
I win
Value
all
hunting
tournaments
is
on
what I
January 1st.
Yeah. Like, oh man, look at this. All the regs sitting today out.
Everybody's drunk. All right.
Yep.
Let's get it.
Start the new year off right.
Yeah, Conrad's like, great. We're finally on a level playing field.
Let's relax.
That
all right.
tournament is such a sick
Conrad doesn't
scam.
drink.
Matt, you sent me his
That
prize
much.
pool twice, so
Oh,
It's
no.
in the OnlyFans group chat.
Oh yeah. Sorry, that's where we put it in the WhatsApp.
In the podcast chat, yeah. Yeah, he led you astray there.
That was my bad. I forgot that I never.
Did you
moved
have
it.
how was the heads up match? Was there a shot to win it?
No,
I mean,
I lost the first all in. But if I won the first all in, I would have had a chance.
Yeah.
I accidentally raided Lex's stream too early. So I forgot that when you raid a stream, it just instantly takes it from your stream to theirs. And after I got second, I was like, oh, okay, I guess that's it. Stream's over. And the raid will happen after my stream ends. But you learn as you go. And the raid actually happens as soon as you click the raid button.
So what's that mean?
It means
explain
that
that-
He
explain
sent,
that to a
sent
boomer.
everyone away.
I basically sent people
Oh,
away from my
no.
stream before the tournament ended.
Oh no.
Yeah, but that's okay. It was kind of an inevitable
Yeah.
situation to have happen where I got second. I had 8 bigs. He had like 75. You know, so if I won the first all in, there's a chance. Like 60-20, 3-1s are not that hard to win. But when you lose the first one, it's over. It's all over. But I mean,
That's how it
man,
works.
it's so weird. The pay jumps in that tournament are ridiculous. 8th in a $100 in a 109 is 4,700. First is just 53. Like final table getting 8th, you get 47 buy-ins.
Yeah.
You get second, you get 390 buy-ins.
Yeah.
Okay.
Winning
sure.
winning is important, man.
Yeah.
It's very
all
important.
right, chat. Be careful with your ears. I don't know what's about to happen.
I'm gonna take mine off.
Headphone warning. Headphone warning.
I've seen this.
Headphone warning. It's
I know what's about to happen.
man, I just know good content opportunities.
Oh, thank God we came here.
Oh, we can't hear? Okay.
I'm sad to not be able to hear. It's the flex that does it for me.
It's so dark, dude.
Holy shit.
why you didn't go baby, go.
I would, honestly,
Come on, you're talking over the best part.
No, it's over. Oh no.
Yeah, you're good.
I'm good.
man, oh my god, it's so. Honestly, I would have done it if I thought about it. Like because that's an iconic moment from this podcast history when we're sitting here watching the Pirates game and I don't know who, someone hits a home run and Brian out of nowhere while Matt's having this important segment is like, go baby, go baby, go. And Matt just looks at me and goes, Brian, are you fucking kidding me right now?
Don't do that.
Don't do that. So the reason why the light turned off in the first place was because when I had my light on and didn't have the ring light, the camera was just so blurry. And I've tried cleaning the lens 5 times and it just kept going back to the blurriness because of the way that the light is in my room.
Yeah.
So like, you know what? No light, that's fine. Goblin mode.
It's probably because you were
I can't believe
spitting and screaming into it.
I can't believe people watch this idiot stream in the fucking dark.
Yeah. 900 people watching.
Shrieking like a banshee.
Oh,
it's ridiculous. God, we need more of this content.
It's manic content. Look,
It's all
people
worth it in the
need
end.
to understand that this is all just a bit, you know? Like the air guitar bit, the screaming bit. Like this is how I am.
The flex was great.
The flex is really good, you know?
You look like the kid from Little Giants.
I look like him now.
Oh man.
Amazing.
I had some sticky rice flashbacks.
Oh my god.
Wow, Sticky Rice was the fucking OG
Yeah,
of
if you
live
guys
streaming.
chat, it might be a while, but if you guys haven't seen that YouTube sticky rice poker, this guy went on an insane heater for like a couple hours or something.
He actually was Rampage. No, it wasn't a couple hours. It was like weeks. I remember.
Really? I thought he ran up a.
He did. He took like nothing and sat 10-20 and then just like ran it up to Hebes like 50 or 80K or so. He was Rampage before Rampage existed. And he was just fucking losing his mind. I actually remember this Queen's hand specifically. I very, very vividly remember this. I was sitting at my computer. It was when online poker first became regulated in America. And I was grinding Ultimate fucking, what the hell was the name of it?
Oh,
No.
Ultimate
Absolute?
Ultimate Poker, right?
Yeah, Ultimate Poker. Yeah.
Ultimate
I was
Poker.
grinding Ultimate Poker in my house. I was living with Dan O'Brien at the time, watching this stupid fucking idiot losing his mind. Clearly had no idea what he was talking about. Just taunting people to get their money in the middle.
Dan loved this, didn't he?
He loved it.
I know Dan fucking loved this.
Wait a minute. Wasn't like one of the fallouts of this of finding out that D Moon was the one that had aces against him?
Oh, I have no idea.
I was pretty sure that in this hand where where D Moon has aces, I don't know if she was trolling or like what's going on, but I remember hearing something that the person that she played this pot, that Sticky Rice played this pot against, was D Moon.
Oh, maybe. I'm not sure.
We need D Moon to confirm.
I
or
can't
deny
believe that you found the exact hand that like is burned into my memory bank of why I started watching this kid. He was such a psychopath.
Oh, thank you for the volume.
This is the best.
the music.
I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. The music is too epic.
Music is too epic.
Oh my god, he's betting so much. Holy shit, we gotta be fucking sneaky. We gotta be sneaky. We gotta be sneaky.
Honestly, nobody's rivaled him since.
Absolutely
That
not.
might be true. That
Like,
actually
he
might
was
be
a
true.
DJ while fucking.
He hovered over fold.
Come on.
You gotta be sneaky.
He's gonna be sneaky while he's screeching in his room.
Could you imagine if he just gets shown 9s
Yo,
here?
that's what I was just thinking. What's his attitude if he's getting shown 9s? Like, what happened?
Double up.
I think I remember another situation where he tried to slow roll someone and was beat.
Does he put Titanic on?
Baby, I got yes. Woo! I swear to God, bitch, if you got quads.
I swear to God, bitch, if you have quads.
Imagine playing a pot worth this much.
He's slow rolling.
Slow rolling, yeah.
Not even that, but just like he gets up and leaves. Like imagine he just runs out of time or something
Yeah,
stupid.
what is he doing? I'm getting nervous and I
He's
know that
writing,
he calls.
is he writing in the chat?
Yeah, he said slow roll his ass. Look at him. Look, he has a mobile cam. This guy was a fucking legend, man. Nobody's been able to do it like this since.
Oh my
This guy
god.
can go.
He like lives in a dance studio.
I've never seen this.
Me neither.
This is unreal.
Call, baby.
Oh
Look,
my
you gotta get
God.
the OBS set up first, get the camera out of the way.
Yes.
15 seconds.
Guy is a
Oh my God.
fucking legend.
Yo, those aces getting
That's
torn and like
unreal.
breaking down, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ignition had some sick graphics back then.
Yeah.
Oh,
What
no.
happened?
I don't know, man.
They cooked too hard.
Yeah. Slots happening.
Slots is
Yeah,
popping in.
yeah. They put all their money into slots.
Hi, fellow friends and families. If you, like me, enjoy a gamble now and again, maybe go to Ignition Slots.
Honestly,
You did that much better than Landon
I know.
did.
You might be able to get 6 figures a year for that.
Vegas.
Damn, dude. Honestly, though, if they let me do like ad reads and stuff with like just like the manic screeching content, I could do it.
Now we're talking.
One of my favorite things that we've done was the commercial of you doing an ad read for Poker Out Loud.
Yes.
It was so
The
good.
gun to his head.
Yeah.
That was great.
It would have been great if I would have been able to cue that up for Guap, but I don't think he has it.
No.
But yeah, Sticky Rice, he was like Rampage before Rampage existed, man. This guy was just like had pennies and turned it into tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, and then turned it into pennies again. And our boy is attempting to not turn his millions into hundreds of thousands. 400K downswing, no problem.
Get that all back plus. In
We'll
one
get
day.
that all back with interest, baby. Young Rampage goes on Hustler Live Casino last Friday to play the big game after suffering his biggest loss to date the day before for like 120-ish, something like that.
Yeah.
And just mops. Just goes in, wins 523,000. No big deal.
Should he send flowers to Nick, or should like a chocolates or something? Just
He-
like
what he should
a
send-
fruit basket, something.
He should send. He should send the pallbearers.
Dun, dun,
The
dun,
fucking
dun,
dance on your grave.
I wish you could have told me this ahead of time. I would have made something.
Wait, do we have confirmation that Sticky Rice is not Ethan?
Yes, it is fact.
okay.
I heard Sticky Rice actually plays at Commerce every now and again.
Oh, nice.
That's so amazing.
Yeah, Ethan's dancing on the grave of Nick Airball as we speak,
Yeah.
doing his little.
Rampage, you just won the most you've ever won in a cash game. How's it feel?
Kind of ridiculous. There's a little downswing over. It just takes one to get out of the downswing. Yes, I don't know. But yeah, kind of insane. It's kind of like I played a tournament for 5 hours and just got lucky for the 5 hours and it worked out.
Talk about that big bluff you had early in the show against Nick Airball.
Yeah, I'm just glad it worked out. It's funny because he's right there, but it definitely would have changed the course of how the session would have went if he did end up making the call. So it's kind of funny how everything kind of avalanches throughout the entire session. Like if he calls and I'm stuck 100, I have to add on, and the cards would have changed and everything would have been different. So that one worked out. Luckily, my heart was racing. Good way to start off the stream with a 100K bluff, basically, and we got through.
And what about that call down with Ace King for a 300K pot?
Yeah, I think like if my bluff doesn't work out and he finds out that it's not a bluff, then maybe he wouldn't have been as emotional. And sometimes Ace King's a good hand. I think it's a good hand. It's hard to make a pair when there's trips on the board, so can't fold.
A few years ago, did you ever think you could win over 500K in one session?
No, I thought it was irresponsible for people who played 510, who bought in for like $1,500. So I will say this is definitely like a pipe dream and kind of ridiculous. Like looking back, like with that Ace King hand, I didn't even think about the money at all. And like after I called and everything worked out, luckily, like I was thinking like, oh, on the flip side, if he did have a pair or something, then I'd feel really bad about myself because I made a quick decision for $110,000, which is kind of ridiculous. But in the game, these are just chips, and then you try to do what you can with chips and take away the real life monetary value of everything.
Does this increase the chances of you playing the $1 million game?
I think I was already kind of in, but yeah, now it makes it easier.
All right, congrats.
Thanks, Ryan.
Imagine Rampage thinking anything is irresponsible
I know, right?
as he commits to buy into $1 million cash game.
Mindsets change quick.
Man, This might all just be the long con by Nick Airball. Get Rampage in that $1 million buy-in, bro. I don't know, man. Those waters are deep. There's something about playing fucking deep stack cash that is so amazing and so terrifying at the same time. Like bluff catching whenever you're about to play 1,000 big blind pot, a little scary.
Yeah.
Especially with ace king high.
Ace king high. He hit trips.
That was like the first hand that I've ever told Ethan that I was proud of him. That was a very well played hand. I was like, Ethan, this was very, very good.
I'm impressed at the patience to not 4-bet pre. Like, just know where you got your man at that point. Keep him wide.
His hand's gonna be like mostly a call anyways, but that deep.
Well, not against the guy who's wailing it off.
It's almost kind of
better, maybe.
The guy that's wailing it off when you're in position.
Yeah,
I'll 4-bet way more.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure it's gonna be fine either way, right? It's hard to make him. You can't make a mistake.
I mean, you kind of just like want to grow the pot with good hands, but I guess with a hand like that's just drawing.
Yeah,
drawing hand.
He drew to an ace king high full house.
Also, like this is something that I realized too about deep stack cash. It makes it a little bit easier on the maniac whenever, so say he does 4-bet there. If Ethan's 4-betting too tightly compared to the calling range at all, given how deep the SPR is going to be moving forward, it almost makes the maniac's life a little easier. Like when he can start to put you on specific subsets of a range that's like, well, this is almost certainly mostly queens plus an ace king, but I have everything that I opened with because I'm not raise folding or 3-bet folding, whatever.
It's kind of the mechanic when you have somebody either dead, like they either snap call, snap fold in like a polar range, or you're doing very well versus their bluffs. So you don't jam a hand to keep their bluffs in because you do so well against them. So now they have to play this wider range with these hands that you have dominated by a lot, and you just have to hope that like you just hold. Where you'll see this a lot in like blind versus blind spots, shallow, where especially with some ICM, where if somebody limps and you like have a hand like, or someone R5s and you have a hand like 10s, you might not want to jam in a specific spot. Like it's all very dependent because you're doing so well versus the R5 range that's bluffing you, and you're doing so good versus their folds if you jam, and you're crushed if you get called.
Right.
So now in that spot, you actually want to just call and allow them to have that polar region where if they have enough bluffs in the polar region, you're doing very, very well.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's an exciting time for the young man. I'm on the ride. I'm on the roller coaster ride with Ethan. I want to keep following and watching the rise and fall. I feel it. Yeah, I understand. I know what this is like. He's getting to experience something similar that the rest of us experienced on our come up. The difference is he's doing it at like 10x magnitude. Like we would have 50K swings. He has $500,000 swings, and like that's wild. That's kind of similar to
inflation, bro.
Yeah, a little bit, but it's also similar to like what the online world was like. Like I remember Seaver telling a story on Joey Ingram podcast where he was reg battling his way through the heads up stakes online, and he would just constantly shot take the bigger stakes, and if he failed, he would just like drop down like 10 levels because he was putting so much at risk. Like he'd shot take 25-50 and it would fail, and he'd be playing 50 cents a dollar the next day or something along those lines. And you know that. It was a healthy economy back then, so like you could, if you had enough talent, kind of get away with it, like make those big risk errors and still have the ability to grind your way back up to where you were and take another shot. Now it's a little bit trickier, but you know he keeps putting himself in 6 and 7 figure situations. Like, do I think his risk management could use a little tweaking? Yeah, probably.
Yes.
Am I here for the ride? Absolutely. I'm a Sticky Rice fan. I'm a Rampage fan.
Let's go Rampage.
I want to see how it all shakes out.
I hope he just fucking crushes them all. I'll be the happiest person in the world.
What's next for the Ethan character arc after the Hustler W?
He just lives at Hustler and he just collects all the money and then he leaves. That's what he should do.
So yeah,
it's gonna come down to that. I mean, if he does play the $1 million buy-in, that's gonna be a defining moment, I would think.
I mean, I can't imagine he won't play. I'm sure he has the ability to sell. It's just a question of will he? Like how much How irresponsible will he be?
He's such a legend.
He might
man.
just take it all. Who knows?
Because like that's the big difference, right? So you take the Friday game. Okay, so you take $100,000, and maybe you keep all of it. That's fine. Maybe it's like 10% your net worth, 5%, something like that. Not going to ruin you if you go bust, right? Even if you took like $250,000, and you were aggressive with it, it's like 20% of your net worth, something like that. It's still not going to ruin you if you bust. But when it's $1 million buy-in, and like now maybe it represents like half of your net worth or 70% of your net worth or something like that, and the stakes aren't that much bigger, right? Like let's say they're playing 501k instead of 2-4, sometimes 2-4-8. The stakes aren't that much higher, but you're forced to bring so much more liquidity.
Yeah, you just have to bring more money.
That either piecing yourself out now drastically lowers the stakes that you're playing for, and it's not that exciting. When I say not that exciting, I mean like, you're not going to have the opportunity to turn one buy-in into, so I guess like 500k would technically be like 10 buy-ins, right? You're not going to win 10 buy-ins in the $1 million cash game. There's no way that 15 million is going to end up in play.
And then you have to win it all.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Right. So it's like, it's a weird thing as you start to escalate stakes to a certain degree where it's clear everybody's extended. That's why I like the format of Poker Go, because it was fixed, right? Like I know a lot of the audience may have, or I remember Norman Chad was kind of clamoring about how it wasn't truly $1 million buy-in and all this other stuff. But that aspect of it really allows you to properly set your risk management and temper expectations as far as like what your win rate is, what your expectation is, how big of a piece you should take, like how much of a shot this should be, all that other stuff. Because, when you're playing the Friday game, it's very lineup dependent. You could get stuck in a Friday game where it's just super tight, and risking $250,000 is almost irresponsible because, nobody's sitting that deep, nobody's losing that much money. Like your win rate is good, but like, it's a high variance spot because you only get to play it as a one-off, versus like playing a Friday game where it's Airball and Ben and, guys who like to put a lot of fucking pressure on a ton of money into the pot, where now it's like risking 250 is like almost nothing because the variance is massively ramped up, but so is your win rate according to it,
Yeah, especially when it represents so much of net worth. If it goes poorly, there's not like there's that many chances in poker as a whole to try to call it recoup that million if the worst does happen and you go dusto and lose half your net worth when it comes to the opportunities that you get moving forward.
I mean, in general, I would tend to agree, but I think Rampage is at a point where he's going to keep playing 25Ks. He's going to keep firing, these high roller events. Whether I think that he's putting himself to sink or swim. Whether he belongs in the high stakes arena according to like where his learning is at this point doesn't really matter. He's going to find his way through, or he's going to break himself in the process of doing it. And honestly, like that's the way I learned. I can't fault it. I think some of the greatest minds that have come out of this game kind of took that path. Now, granted, in the past, you didn't really have any other options. But when you're navigating the live world, this is kind of the sink or swim mentality that you need in order to find that grit and develop that like killer instinct, so to speak, to ensure that you stay in the arena. I was talking to Emma about this at dinner a couple nights ago, where who were we talking about? But we both kind of agreed. It might have been Dylan, where he just has this grit to him that it's like whether he's good or not doesn't matter. Like he just won't ever get buried to a point where like you see the color drain from his face. You know what I mean? Like there's just no amount that can beat him down to where he's just like, I give up.
That's just like a personality trait, less so.
It's not though, because money's involved.
I don't know.
It's definitely a personality trait. He's a very like, he lets things go rather easy. He's very like, whatever. type of person.
What I mean by that is there are people that are and are not built for the high stakes environment of handling the swings that you put yourself through.
That's what I'm speaking to. You're reiterating my point. Thank you.
I think that is mostly inherent to the person, and then in very rare instances, a skill that is developed.
Agreed.
And you can fast track it by putting yourself through tough spots and losing a fuck ton of your net worth in different spots and this, that, and whatever, and then grinding your way back up. But you don't have to do it that way.
No, but I think you don't have to do it that way, but I think you need those character defining moments in order to know which side of the line you fall on. Because if you're not the type that has that resolve about you, then you need to build a strategy and build a money management system around the fact that you're sensitive to the variance, you're sensitive to the loss. Like, you understand where I'm going with this?
Well, at that point, you sort of realize that some people will just phase out of playing high stakes poker.
You don't have to phase out, though. You can still navigate it. It just requires like laying off a ton of risk. These are the people that will forever be back. These are the people who, are pretty nitty about game selection and all of these other things, right? There's still a place for them in the arena. They're just not going to be the ones that get idolized, and that's okay. Not everyone's playing this game for glory,
Is that true?
That not everyone's playing for glory?
No, that people that are called idolized are not backed. I don't think that matters at all.
I'm using backed as a representation of laying off risk.
Right, but there's a difference between people that would still call it be backed and play any game that they would sit, right?
Yeah, but we're talking about two different things. I'm talking about the player who will never play on his own dime his entire career, and there's a lot of those.
I don't think that's a bad thing in some cases.
I'm not saying it is. I'm saying that it's. What are we having a different conversation?
No, because where you're going with this, you're saying like you need to have this grit that you get instilled by risking and losing all of your own money, and
yes,
from that,
if you're never battle tested, then you'll never know which side of the line you fall on when it comes to having the resolve to suffer through the actual swings and variance.
You can still quote unquote suffer through that in makeup.
No, you can't.
Says
I've been backed and I haven't been backed, and I know the difference. It's massive.
That's just a personal thing, no?
No, absolutely not. It feels very different when you're losing your own dollars.
Does it matter if you're learning that if your living situation changes or not? Let's say you lose your own dollars, but your living situation in both situations is the same.
Okay.
You're saying that there's a difference because it's your own money. I just don't think that that's always the case. Yeah. I think it's just a personal experience. And everyone has that mentality of, you're not a real... There's like that whole stigma of you're not a real poker player if you don't lose your own money.
It's not that you're not a real poker player. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying that you're a different breed. You're cut differently. The cloth is cut differently.
What does that mean? But what character trait does that give you in a poker playing environment for the skill, less so calling yourself quote unquote greater than because you're a different breed because you lose your own money?
You're the only one saying it's greater than or less than. I'm just saying that they're different. I'm saying that there is a character that has the resolve to get in the arena, be battle tested, and fight the good fight day in and day out, for better or for worse. And then there is another subset of players, and more people are going to fall into this category, that are very risk sensitive and put themselves in the arena because they have a skill set that they've developed, but also are very subjected to the emotional roller coaster that is high stakes. They're also very subjected to the fact that if the roles were reversed and this was their own money, they could not execute the strategy the same way. There are plenty of people who get backed because it allows them to play their best. I'm not saying that it's a character flaw. I'm just saying it's a difference. And I'm saying that they won't be the ones that are glorified and idolized because inherent to that character flaw, inherent to that character definition of being like risk off comes a strategy that's going to be reflective of that. It's not a bad strategy. It's just a strategy, right? Like they're not going to be the ones who stick their neck out on a limb in a spot that they're a little bit uncertain of. Whereas the person who's like super comfortable with the arena, with the risk, with being overextended and all of these other things that, an Ivy type. Ivy's like the number one guy that would come to mind, right? Or like, if you listen to Daniel's early career stories, but more so Ivy than anybody else. so risk on and so willing to have that self-confidence to just say, I don't care what the book says in this spot. I don't care what the risk reward is in this spot or any of those other metrics. I just know my guy. And in this particular situation, I'm going to follow that read.
How much of that is survivorship bias?
Well, it would always be survivorship bias in both, right? Because the fact is the variance will just naturally weed out the vast majority who pursue this, regardless of comparable skill set, right? So even on the risk off side, you may see more survivors there as a whole, right? Because they're risk off and they're managing better. But there's still going to be people of comparable skill sets that never make it due to this, that, or the other, some other variable, right? And that's why there will just be a disproportionate amount of people who are risk on versus risk off, right? The people who are risk on, more of them are going to die.
Right. The risk on approach thinks that they are greater than the variance that exists, or acknowledges that it exists and thinks that it's not going to affect them as much as it will if the worst thing does end up happening.
The ones who are poor at it, perhaps. But I don't think that's what I'm speaking to when I'm talking about like Dylan. I'm speaking to somebody who has a different experience. And, the easiest way to explain this is to put in a ton of live hours. When you can see in someone's face that they've given up, that they're just done, and they're there clocked in because they have to be. They have to try to recoup their losses, or they have to try to earn, or they're in makeup and they need to get out. Whatever motivator is keeping them at the table, it's clearly not a desire to be there. You can just see that in another player once you've experienced this realm enough. You can see when somebody is intimidated. You can see when somebody's too at risk. You can see these natural human emotions that plague a professional poker player, and it's why we'll never be machines. We'll never beat machines. I mean, it's one of the reasons why we'll never be machines. We'll never beat machines, but it's also one of the reasons why the game is so profitable and so fun to pursue, and so much passion can be poured into it, because there's always that human element to navigate and earn off of, right? When you can see those things, you just recognize a defeated human who's now solely victim to the variance, right? It's going to be whether or not the deck chooses them if they win. And then there's another type that just has the resolve to be battle tested and push through that. I've been stuck 10 buy-ins before. I've been stuck 20 buy-ins before, and I know how to temper my expectations in these spots. I know what my earn is if I continue to sit here, and I know I won't get out today all that often, but I also know if I stay here for another 5 or 6 hours, I'm making money, right? There's just a massive separation there between these two camps that I'm speaking to. And it's not that one is better or worse. It's just they serve each of these camps equally.
I feel like there's a greater discussion to be had, but I'm not prepared for this at this current time, so we can move on.
That's fair. Yeah. I think that's completely reasonable. Well, I guess how long have we been going for?
62 minutes and 35 seconds.
Okay.
Correct.
What else do we have to talk about today?
Got a little Charlie Carrel mixing it up in Twitter streets.
Yeah, we can do this Charlie thread. It seems like a reasonable one, and one that maybe hasn't been brought up publicly all that often, but one that kind of indirectly is spoken about, I guess. Or the thing is like the thread itself is a subtweet, and I feel like this is the exact way that these things are always discussed in our industry, is by just like subtext and implying that there are people who are shit without actually saying the people you believe are shit. And I think the latter would have served Charlie a little bit better, if for no other reason, because then those people would be forced to engage. But in any event, I think the question he poses is actually pretty reasonable. And it should poker coaches share their results if they want to sell courses or coaching sessions? There are a lot of not very successful poker players out there selling coaching content for high prices, and it doesn't sit well with me. I guess before I give my take on this, what is everybody, starting with you, Conrad?
What'd you say?
Okay, starting. Go ahead, LaManna.
Yeah, I mean, It's tough because, I mean, really good poker players can have losing years. They can have I don't know if it's just results, right? Like, I don't think that's the only way to, measure whether somebody is a good or a good or bad coach, right? Because maybe someone teaches the material better than they actually play, and so I don't know. I don't think it's a bad thing. The results.
Sure.
I feel like I'm on the opposite side of that coin.
Good.
Like, for instance, if I wanted to train mixed martial arts or fighting or something, like, would I want somebody who's a really good coach, who's good at explaining things? Or do I want a Mike Tyson or a Roy Jones Jr. or an Oscar De La Hoya teaching me what they know? I think I'd feel more comfortable getting coaching from someone who's just always made money. Like, I remember looking at Randy's chart, like, way back in the day, where it was just a steady climb. Like, if I wanted coaching, I want that guy to show me what he's doing.
It's kind of weird because, like, in poker, like, you can look at somebody like who just had his first $1 million score. He plays all the high rollers. He bubbles everything.
Oh, Brewer.
Like, you look at somebody like Brewer, he's obviously very good at the game, but his results probably don't exactly match up what they should. It's like, I don't know. It's kind of weird. Like, only be results oriented from that. Like, what they've done.
I think that is a down bad take. Everyone knows that Brewer's a great poker player and be a great coach regardless of his results.
But that's what they're talking about, right?
He's also a super high roller, nosebleed MTT player. But when it comes to the guy that's trying to sell coaching for an hourly that says that they can beat 50 and L, and then you ask them to show a graph over X sample saying you can beat 50 and L and you can't do that, you can't be doing coaching.
I agree with that.
I don't know anybody looking for. Yeah. I would agree with that.
I agree with that.
But
yeah, I think
that's the main point here, right? There's a clear barrier as to a certain stake level that you can beat for the thing that you're coaching, because there is something to be said about beating and proving that you can win in the thing that you're trying to coach. So if someone wants to come to me and says, hey, I want 200 and L coaching, where I've had a double digit big blind per 100 at 200 and L. And I say, okay, yes, I have this win rate over this sample. Here's how I got to where I got. That's what they want to effectively learn. Correct?
Yeah. I don't think that's the best approach to qualifying it personally. Charlie uses the example of like chess coaches posting their ELO. And it'd be nice if poker had something like that, but it doesn't, because in chess, there's no real variance to speak of. So the ELO score is directly reflective of your skill.
Well, it's just win rate over sample, right? Like, let's just say you have 1 million hands.
But that's the thing, is that this is coming from the framework that the only people who are good at coaching are online players. And I think it's actually the exact opposite. I would wager, and this has nothing to do with skill in poker, it has everything to do with skill in communication and teaching style. But I would wager people, if we collectively took all of the coaches that are out there and we weighed, sorry, let me rephrase, because this is important. The student type matters as well. Understand the vast majority of the market that's consuming coaching is amateurs. Like, they're weekend warriors, they're recreationals, far and wide. They must outnumber the serious pro who's looking for coaching 10-1, right? So if you think about it like tennis, at the tennis level, right? It's the couple that shows up once a week for lessons from the local club pro, not a 16-year-old who has ambitions of playing for Miami University in 2 years, looking to pursue a pro career. So this is a huge qualifier to this conversation, because if we're talking about people who are trying to get to nosebleeds, then yes, of course, it's a no-brainer that everybody should have to be transparent with the results at a bare minimum. But beyond that, they should have to be transparent to some entity, as to what their teaching strategy is, right? Like, what's the methodology that they're utilizing? And, maybe not go too deeply into it, because obviously if you have something proprietary, then it's worth protecting. But like, I think Nick with Detox is a good example. It's very clear what he does. He has a data-driven approach that is specified to specific pools that will, effectively increase your win rate according to their methodology. And whether or not that's true should be up to the student to, basically do their own due diligence, or up to the community if they want to hold his feet to the fire and scrutinize him, whatever, right? But it seems like it's a pretty tangible thing for people who are in pursuit of playing high stakes. The rest of the people who are being coached would now greatly go underserved, right? Like, Wabbo, I know you say you want to learn how to box from Roy Jones Jr., but no, you don't. No, you just don't, because it's non-transferable. You'll never be able to do what he does.
You don't think Roy Jones Jr. could show me how to throw a left hook better than somebody who's never boxed?
Nope, because
Really?
you're literally learning how to basically throw a left hook. And anybody who's competent at throwing a left hook could teach you that. Roy Jones Jr. isn't going to teach you any special sauce in how to throw a left hook.
He might give you some special
No, I'm
stuff.
gonna say
You're not as
who
fat-
he's partying said that to him.
I'm just saying, Guapo's not as fast as him. He's not as strong as him. He's not the same stature as him. He doesn't know boxing the way he knows it.
So you're saying the actual mechanics.
If you're just learning the mechanics of poker, or in this instance, the mechanics of poker theory, you need a theorist, not an executioner, right? You don't need somebody who's a practitioner. You need somebody who's studied in the theory. Acevedo is a great example of this, right? Like, he seems to be well studied based off of what I read in his book. But like, I don't know anything about his results. I didn't even know he played until just a couple of years ago when we invited him on Poker Out Loud and whatnot. But like, Matt John does another great example. He literally wrote what was considered to be the Bible of poker at that point, and he's a doctor, right? Like
Well, bro's a doctor, right?
what are
like-
his results? Med school diploma?
No, but what he's doing, like the book, right, is proven by math. Like, he's proved that his book made sense.
Sort of. A lot of it's outdated and ultimately proved not to necessarily be true, but that's not the point. The point is there's a massive divide here between theory and practice, and more specifically between theory and execution, right? So the people who are in the lab coming up with theoretical knowledge just need to be good teachers. They don't need to be able to beat 50 NL, right? Look at the people who designed Liberatus. Noam Brown and that whole collective from CMU. They're not high stakes crushers, and they never will be. But they built a bot that will destroy the biggest limits in the world.
Yeah, I mean, there's kind of truth to the
Or they
those
built
who-
an AI. I don't want to.
But those who can't do teach, kind of
To some degree.
To some degree.
Look at,
I mean,
look at
obviously,
sports. Look at the
right.
coaching arena. How many of these guys actually have like prolific careers?
Right.
You don't see
Yeah.
Jordan on the court.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason for that. It's non-transferable. When you have such a natural ability to be above the rim already, it's just inherent. It's born into you.
Mm-hmm.
The things that you learn off of that are things that are absolutely unquantifiable to your peers.
Yeah. And it kind of goes the other way too, right? There's a lot of people that are absolute crushers and charts go like this, but they probably are not good. They might not be good teachers. They might not be good coaches.
That could definitely be true.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's a lot.
Sure, like that stuff is true, and there's a bunch of instances of that, and then you take those instances as you go. But when you're not somebody known in a community, and then you're trying to offer a service,
To be clear, it's very clear to me anyway that he's firing shots at known people, not unknowns. Unknowns aren't
Right.
taking much money out
Right.
of
If there's just some like random person who's just like, hey, come to me for coaching, and I'll be able to, and then
right. What's the guy charging $100 an
$100,
hour actually making that is just like in the local Potawatomi, whatever the fuck that Milwaukee city is?
Potawatomi.
Yeah, sure. Like how much is he actually making a year through coaching? 10K, 15K? You know,
He's
like,
probably
that's not
helping
who this.
regardless.
Yeah, and he's probably helping the people that he's actually talking to.
Yeah.
right.
So like that's not who this thread's
Yeah,
directed
like
at.
I mean, you look at pools too. Like you could be playing in some part of the country and absolutely crushing it there, but if you came to Vegas and played, you maybe wouldn't be crushing. Like, does that make you qualified or unqualified to be a coach?
I think the big thing that I'm trying to speak to is that live poker is a big aspect of this arena, and there aren't that many stats. Like I sent Guapo my stats for the last 1,000 hours I played or last 900 hours I played, but how important are they? How relevant is this? Right? Mm-hmm. It's a small sample by compared to anything online. It's strictly high stakes live against a pool that I intimately know well, and there's nothing that should make you take that as absolute fact other than you trust me.
You cheap fuck. $300 in expenses over $1.1 million?
I don't track everything. I don't even know why the 300's on. Oh, I do know why.
Is that tipping?
No.
No.
It's it was a prop. It was a prop I lost. I like entered it, and afterwards I was like, I'm not keeping track of this shit.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
Expensive.
That's so funny.
But like the whole thing is like that. Posting that graph is no more meaningful than me just saying like I'm winning.
Yeah.
I'm making $1,000 an hour.
Because you can just smudge it.
Was that
I mean, you can
that's
do
a-
anything you
yeah.
want. Same thing with like online graphs. Like you can
You can
filter
purge
out the
graphs.
database, and
right,
it's like
right.
I
You
think
can-
actually, matter of fact, what's his name said something about that in that comment thread. Oh, Jeremiah.
Yeah.
He said he bought,
Right.
he was buying action to somebody that was smudging their charts and stuff. So like anything can be changed.
Don't let bro cook the books.
Yeah, it's like there's no ELO score. There's no all you can do. Again, this industry is largely driven by trust and reputation. So all you can do is vet people based off of what their peers think of them, right? And it's like, you know, some people are just going to be really good at marketing, and you hope that they offer enough value. And if they don't, then it's on the community to kind of call that out. But I don't think that it's fair to compare apples to oranges whenever you're looking throughout all the coaching, right? So like Dom is a great example. I think Dom is like a good barometer for what would suit people in the pursuit of high stakes, right? Like he has a good comprehension of how he got there, specifically through training and data and stuff like that. So he's always a good barometer of looking at sims.
And also has copy pasted people from DTO that study that stuff and now play high stakes.
Yeah.
Like he has a model that works.
Right. So it's like, you know, he's drilling down on a very tiny fraction of people who are looking for poker training, and he's executing on it. But more importantly, he can now offer some level of criticism to other people that are offering comparable things, right? So when people have lookup databases, when people come up with solvers, all of these things that are going to be sim generated, he can kind of oversee that and say like, okay, well, compared to what I understand, this is good or bad. And again, we can only take that with a grain of salt because they're competitors. So he has some incentive to say everything is bad. And then secondarily, it's still only going to be through his lens. So it's only going to be through the comparative lens of like what he knows, right? But the more DOMs that exist that are willing to speak out, the better the software will ultimately become. The flip side of that is the low-hanging fruit, the people that are giving training to entry-level players, the upswings, the run-at-onces, the Jonathan Littles, us, Crush Life Poker, Raise Your Edge. There's just endless amounts of them, right? Dom can't oversee that. It's not fair to Dom, and it's also not fair to that collective because they're targeting apples and oranges.
Yeah,
right?
the audience is different.
The audience is so different. You're trying to get people to be able to beat 1-3 and 2-5 live. That is certainly not going to be the same methodology as somebody that you're trying to take from 10NL to 2KNL, right? It's just night and day difference. And it's not very fair to put the onus on the coach to also be a world beater. Because for the most part, like, especially if you're an individual coach, you'll just make more money playing. Like, there's no real incentive, right? But if you're not making that much money playing and you understand the game really well, right? We talked about survivorship bias a punch. There's going to be a lot of people with comparable skill set that don't make it, right? Why can't they be coaches? They just weren't selected, you know? There's a selection bias here to some degree. And it's like, it makes a lot of sense to me. It stands to reason. There are a lot of people that will know everything and not be able to execute. We run into this all the time.
Yeah.
We see it in sport too, right? A guy who literally is the most cerebral player on the field, knows exactly where everything should be, knows exactly what he is supposed to do when he comes up to the plate or when he drops back to pass and just can't execute. Right? That guy's going to make a great fucking coach. Terrible player. I'll take a guy like Jamarcus Russell who knows nothing and just gets out there and drops dimes every time he's in the pocket over somebody who like literally knows everything. Like imagine Peyton Manning who couldn't complete a pass.
Right.
Like hit the sidelines, bro.
Yeah. But he'd be an amazing coach.
Right. And I'm sure there are tons of backup quarterbacks like that in the league. Right? Because there's a small it's such a fine line defining like who are the winners and who are the losers.
If I may,
Yeah.
in case Oscar De La Hoya is watching this pod, if it's between you and the local coach at the YMCA, I'd like you to show me how to throw that left hook. So
No, you're sleeping.
I'm here,
on,
buddy.
You're sleeping on the local guy at the YMCA,
Mm-hmm.
man. He's got some pop. Got some pop.
No,
What's-
he just
what's
knows how
De La
to do it.
What's De La Hoya gonna teach you, man? He throws 3 punches to your 1. He's gonna
Yeah.
have to do it in slow mo. Like, okay.
That might be true.
Guapados wants coaching from De La Hoya. It's cooler.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's
That's
prestige, you know?
Yeah, you're right.
Who's the De La Hoya of the poker coaching world?
Oh.
fair. Not
Is De La Hoya-
Jordan Cristos.
Wait, what are you talking about, bro? My man's talking about fucking. He's gonna coach me to turn $30 into $1 million. I don't know about you guys, but it seems like a fucking
Look,
win-win here.
I don't want to out him too badly because I don't care what people do, but like he's so vocal that somebody needs to like shine the truth. This guy is in everyone's fucking DMs asking for backing every goddamn day. Every day. He's playing the South Point 60 because it's all he can afford. I don't want to hear about this turning 30 into millions bullshit.
I mean, all you got to do is turn it into 27K, buy yourself 1 Bitcoin, and then in a couple months you'll have $1 million.
That's what
Investing X.
It's like it's enough with the subtext. If that thread was ever directed at Cristos, which I don't think it was, but like
it wasn't.
that right, but like that's the type of shit that like call it out when you fucking see it. When a guy tells you that he's gonna help you turn $30 into many millions and this is the way that you close a big event, it's like, bro, you won one thing ever years ago and you have nothing to show for it. Like, let's relax a little.
Do you have a score over 657,000?
Yes.
Oh, okay, you can talk.
I can talk.
I'm sorry, bro. You can talk. Cook, bro.
616,000.
Oh, sorry. You can cook.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
I
cooking.
didn't know. I keep quiet. I'm
I can't, no.
I'm subscribing to the man because I don't have a score this big. What can I say?
By July, you will.
Yeah.
I mean,
I would say in reference to Charlie's thread, I think what's a little bit maybe more fair to the overarching coaching community is pay attention to the guys that are doing it, I guess, right? So there's a big difference between somebody who is unwilling to post the results versus somebody who's like unwilling to even play. And I think that that's the big difference is any coach who's worth a grain of salt, like will still be playing at some capacity. And that's not to say that like they need to be playing consistently or anything like that. I saw somebody replied and said that they get coaching from somebody who hadn't played in like 2 years and it immensely helped their game and stuff like that. I think that's very, very reasonable. Charlie just said like, man, if I go 2 months without playing, I don't think I'm capable of coaching. It's like, well, that's on you kind of thing.
Yeah, it's on you.
And for me, the reason why I say like if you're doing a good job coaching, you're still going to want to play is because personally, the more material that I create for students and things of that nature, the more I'm reminding myself of the mechanics, and the more I feel like I'm improving or discovering small little leaks that I may be plugging and things like that. So it incentivizes me to want to be on the felt a lot more often.
Right.
But I don't think that there's a blanket solution to this. Maybe if we like, I don't know, promoted like 10 voices to the panel of
the Council of
overseers.
Dans?
Yeah, the Council of Dans. We find 10 Dans in the poker community and let them decide if somebody's worthy of coaching or not.
Dan
Like,
Zach, Dan Smith, Dan
Yeah.
O'Brien. He's adjacent enough. He can still count.
Right.
He's a good judge of character.
Yeah, he's a good
He
judge
said
of
I wasn't
character.
going to win a bracelet. And he was right.
Are we crossing a line here with something like this?
how so?
Like, does it matter? Like, if somebody, it's free market. If
Well,
somebody
that would
wants
be
to
the
coach,
yeah. Barber's take on it would definitely just be like it's free market later on its course. Like if somebody's good, people will pay. If somebody's bad, people won't. The problem is, and I think this is Charlie's point, is that people leverage their celebrity in kind of a nefarious way, right? Like if the game is to not be good at coaching, but just to be the best marketer, then are you really providing a good service, right? Or are you just Tony Robbins? And that's the thing.
Damn,
Is
took a
it's,
shot at Tony.
I mean, whatever. Like
I'm not your guru.
I enjoy his content for mild entertainment, I guess, and if I feel like listening to some banal platitudes, and I actually think his backstory is riveting, but let's call a spade. Like life coaching is kind of not it, man. But this exists in every industry and at scale, not just like what we see at poker, right? Like when you're looking at self-help and life coaching and fitness, same thing with like trainer. I know everybody says like aesthetically, you're never going to go to the trainer who looks out of shape. You're always going to go to the guy who's yoked out of his mind.
Mm-hmm.
But like I've trained with guys who are just fucking juiced to the gills and don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Like, and the thing is like I'm an educated consumer, so it's easy as hell for me to know right out of the gate. Right?
Yeah.
3 simple questions about complex movements, nutrition, and maybe like body fat composition.
Yeah, you have your own sniff test.
Maybe like a poker Yelp or something like that would just go a long way. You know, like
actually, that's a great idea.
Yeah, that would just go.
That's actually a very good idea.
Somebody in the chat wrote it, and like that would go a long way.
The problem is currently that's Reddit and 2+2, and like those are just
Toxic, sad, down bad.
maybe like somebody like poker.org or somebody like that can find a place for it.
Yeah, the ultimately the result would have to be you would have to be a qualified consumer, and I don't know how you would
Right,
test
because
for
otherwise
that.
you just dunk on people if you could.
Correct.
Right,
Yeah,
you scold
What,
them.
what I say by what I mean by qualified consumer is you have to have bought the product,
Yeah.
right? So like you have to have at least experienced the product, and then once that's the case, like if you could leave a review, so similar to how the App Store works, right? I can't go in and leave a review on an app I haven't downloaded.
Right.
If there was a way for us to do that in poker, I think it would be genius.
Maybe like an email that shows like your subscription or something like that, and then your review.
Yeah,
Right? But
I mean,
it's like work, obviously.
Yeah, of course,
and it's not going to be a huge upside from any, but
well, there's no upside.
yeah, exactly. I was trying to. I don't want them not.
I mean, honestly, like I would personally see upside in it because I would rather like be as transparent and truthful as possible and like let people speak their own minds. But I think publicizing testimonials is bullshit.
Yeah.
Somebody just asked me, what does Tortua play with stakes? And I said sub 50s during the week and about a 600 on Saturday.
There you go.
But he charges $1K an hour for coaching.
Exactly.
So I got you, bro. Don't worry. It's sliding in DMs.
I just steal all the material from Sulfur Y and use it as my own. So, I mean, you're getting good shit. So,
Yo, it's the same guy that fucking from on IG that just DM'd me. He's like, yo, I have all the poker courses. Just hit me up.
It's true.
I was like, this motherfucker.
Nah,
son of a bitch.
it's true. Getting pirated is a legit fucking problem.
Yeah, it's a business expense.
Yeah. All right, that's going to do it for us. We are back tomorrow with the one and only Jeff Platt and Brent Hanks to discuss our NCAA brackets and
Our down
how
bad
torched
bracket.
they are. Quick reminder that we do still have an academy coming up April 15th to the 19th. That's our final Poker Out Loud Academy for
15th to the 18th.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. You're not getting anything on the 19th. Maybe a meetup game. We'll talk about it. That is our final Poker Out Loud Academy for the year. So if you guys are interested in playing Poker Out Loud style of play, where you speak your thoughts out loud and we give you guys feedback in real time, be sure to head over to academy.sulfurY.io. Sign up for that. Secondly, we have the Tournament Academy, May 24th to the 27th. That'll be a 4-day academy where you play out the different phases of the MTT, ultimately culminating in a winner. Head over to academy.sulfurY.io. Check that out. Click the banner above to get the details on the MTT Academy. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Smash that subscribe button on your way out if you
Get us
haven't
to
already.
50,000.
We are just on the precipice of 50,000. We appreciate all the support. Oh, also for the members only NCAA tournament, we'll give you guys an update on that bracket and the scoring system tomorrow, as well as the prize pool that we've promised you all. So thank you guys always for tuning in. We'll see you all tomorrow.
10% of Berkey.